McDonald's just bet big on AI again. This week, at their worldwide convention in Las Vegas, they announced a brand new AI system called ArchIQ and a drive-thru voice assistant named Archy. It's already running at 5 U.S. locations, built in partnership with Google. And here's the thing they're not putting on the billboard. This is their second try. The first one failed so badly they killed it. And at almost the exact same moment McDonald's is doubling down, a competitor's AI melted down in public, on camera, in front of millions of people. If you run any kind of business and you're even thinking about adding AI, stay with me because the lesson in this story could save you a lot of money. Let's start with what McDonald's actually announced, because it's bigger than just a talking speaker box. They're calling the whole strategy McDonald's Next. At the center of it is ArchIQ, an AI operating system for the entire restaurant. The piece you'll notice as a customer is Archy, the voice that takes your order at the drive-thru. But there's more under the hood. There's a feature called accuracy scales, which is meant to cut down on wrong orders. And there's an in-house computing platform from Google running quietly in the back of every store to power all of it. McDonald's says the system has already handled more than 1 million transactions, with about 90% going through without a single human stepping in. Now, I want you to hear that number the right way. 90% sounds great until you remember nobody outside McDonald's has verified it. That's their claim in their press materials at their own convention. It is not an audited, independent fact, and in a minute you'll see why that distinction matters so much. Because here's the part McDonald's is staying very quiet about. This is round 2. The first time McDonald's tried AI at the drive-thru, it was with IBM, and they rolled it out to more than 100 locations. It went sideways fast. Customers pulled out their phones and filmed the AI adding food they never ordered, stacking items onto the bill, getting simple orders flat wrong. One viral clip showed the thing piling on chicken nuggets until the customer was begging it to stop. McDonald's quietly ended that partnership in the summer of 2024. So when they stand on stage and tell you this version is different, this version is better, just remember they said that last time too. And notice what they're doing this time. 5 locations. Not 500, not 50,000. 5. The biggest restaurant company on earth, with Google's money and Google's engineers behind them, is tiptoeing back into this one store at a time. That caution tells you everything about how risky they know it still is. Now let's talk about the meltdown, because it's important, and it's a little bit funny until it isn't. Taco Bell went the other direction. They rolled AI ordering out to more than 500 locations, and then the video started. The most famous one, a customer pulls up and orders 18,000 cups of water as a joke. A human would laugh and say, "Very funny. What do you actually want?" The AI had no common sense to catch an obviously fake order, so it just tried to process it, and the system fell apart on the spot. Another video showed the bot stuck in a loop, asking a guy what he wanted to drink, right after he'd already ordered a drink, over and over and over, until he gave up and drove off. The AI basically panicked and couldn't finish a simple order. Those clips have been watched more than 20 million times. Taco Bell is now publicly rethinking the entire rollout. Here's the pattern underneath all of it. AI is fast, and it's confident, and it has no judgment. It doesn't know when something doesn't make sense. It doesn't know when it's wrong. And when it fails, it doesn't fail quietly in a back office. It fails out loud, at the counter, in front of the customer, sometimes in front of 20 million strangers on the internet. So why does a couple of fast food stories matter to you, the owner of a strip center, a dental office, a property management company, a law firm? Because the exact same technology is being sold to you right now, today, hard. AI that answers your phone, AI chatbots sitting on your website, AI that books appointments, AI that quotes prices, AI that talks to your customers when you're not in the room. The sales pitch is always the same. Cut your labor, move faster, never miss a call. And the failure looks exactly the same too. The only real difference is this. When McDonald's AI screws up, McDonald's has Google and a building full of lawyers. When your AI tool quotes the wrong price, or promises something you can't deliver, or goes down during your busiest hour, there's no building full of lawyers. There's just you. And picture what that actually looks like in your world, not a drive-thru. An AI receptionist quotes a roofing customer a number you would never honor, and now that customer is holding you to it. An AI scheduler double books your two biggest jobs on the same Saturday morning. An AI chatbot on a medical office site tells a patient you accept an insurance plan you dropped 2 years ago, and they show up expecting it. A property management bot tells a tenant their lease allows something it doesn't. Every one of those is a real customer, a real promise, and a real problem, and your name is the one on the sign, not the software companies. The fast food clips are funny because it's nuggets and water. In your business, the same failure is a refund, a bad review, or a lawsuit. And this is not hypothetical. Let me give you a real case, a real ruling. A man named Jake Moffatt went to Air Canada's website after his grandmother died. He asked the airline's AI chatbot about bereavement fares. The chatbot told him he could book now and apply for the discount later. That was wrong. It was not the airline's actual policy. The chatbot made it up. When Air Canada refused to honor it, Moffatt took them to a tribunal, and in February of 2024, he won. The tribunal ruled that Air Canada was responsible for what its chatbot said. Full stop. The airline tried to argue the chatbot was a separate entity. Basically, don't blame us, blame the bot. The tribunal rejected that completely. If the AI is on your website, speaking for your business, then legally it is your business speaking. You own what it says. Sit with that for a second, because it's the whole ball game. If you put an AI on your phone line or your website, and it tells a customer the wrong thing, and that customer acts on it, you are on the hook. Not the software company, you. So let's talk about what that actually costs, because every piece of this is an insurance question, and most business owners have never asked a single one of them. First, errors and omissions. When your AI gives a customer wrong information or makes a promise you can't keep, that's a professional error, and errors create liability. That is exactly what errors and omissions coverage, what we call E&O, is built for. And here's the problem. Most small business policies don't include it by default. You probably have general liability, which covers someone slipping in your parking lot. It very likely does not cover your chatbot giving bad advice. Those are two completely different kinds of risk, and a lot of owners assume one policy covers everything. It doesn't. The slip and fall world and the bad information world are insured separately, and AI lives squarely in the second one. Second, the vendor contract. When you sign up for one of these AI tools, there's a contract, and almost nobody reads the liability section. A lot of these contracts are written so that when the AI fails, the liability lands on you, the business owner, not the software company. They've shifted the risk onto you, and you agreed to it by clicking Accept. Look for the words limitation of liability and indemnification. In plain English, those clauses usually say the vendor owes you almost nothing if their product hurts your business, and in some cases that you'll cover them. You need to read that part or have someone read it for you before you turn the thing on. Third, business interruption. When the AI system goes down, and it will go down, you can't take calls, you can't take orders, you can't book jobs. That's lost income, plain and simple. Whether your policy actually pays you back for that downtime depends entirely on how your business interruption coverage is written and whether a software failure even counts as a covered event. For a lot of policies, it doesn't. Most business interruption coverage was built around physical events, a fire, a storm, a pipe bursting. A cloud service or an AI vendor going dark for a day doesn't look like any of those, and that's exactly the kind of gap that turns into a denied claim. And here's the uncomfortable truth that ties all three together. The technology is moving way faster than the contracts and the insurance policies underneath it. Businesses are bolting AI onto their operations this year in real time, and their coverage was written years ago for a world that didn't have any of this. There's a gap, and you don't want to discover that gap in the middle of a claim after something has already gone wrong. So here's what I want you to actually do, and none of this is complicated. Before you add any AI tool that talks to your customers or touches your money, ask 3 questions. 1. If this AI makes a mistake that costs a customer, does any policy I currently carry respond to it? 2. What does the vendor's contract say about who is liable when it fails? Find that section and read it. 3. If the system goes down for a day, does my business interruption coverage actually cover that lost income? Those 3 answers take one short conversation to get, and that conversation is a whole lot cheaper than finding out the hard way, the way Air Canada did. My name is Dennis Hendrickson. I'm a licensed insurance broker in Sarasota, Florida, and I work with business owners on exactly this kind of risk, AI exposure and commercial coverage. If you're adding AI to your business this year, and a lot of you are, it is genuinely worth 15 minutes to make sure your coverage caught up to what you're actually doing. My contact information is right down in the description, and the first conversation doesn't cost you anything. If this was useful, do me a favor and subscribe. Every single day we break down a real AI and business story and what it actually means for you and your bottom line. Not the hype, the practical version. McDonald's is being careful with this. Taco Bell wasn't. Make sure you're the one being careful. I'll see you tomorrow.